Hi, can you hear me okay? Oh, hi, Michelle, Tamara. Give people a moment to hop on. Hey, Kat.
There I am.
There
Hi.
she is. Hi. Thanks for saying hi.
Happy to be here.
Happy to see you. How was everybody's week last week? I'll cozy up with my lukewarm water. Are you sipping tea, Tamara? Looks nice and cozy. It's 80 degrees. It's going to be 80 degrees here today. What? It's December 2nd. Come on, Texas. I keep saying, come on, Texas, get it together on many levels. Still happy to be here. Anyway.
We're at 54 and in the fog.
Oh, so cozy. I miss that. Well, I really miss the actual snow of the Midwest, but that's coming. But I remember those nice foggy days where I would just pretend it was snowing in Santa Barbara. Lori's asking if she'll see me back in Santa Barbara soon. I'm hoping to come back and visit sometime, either if I can get it together, maybe January and probably March. So if I'm back, I'll try to I'll talk with the soup about doing a in-person or hybrid class, which would be kind of fun again. I don't have a plane ticket booked or anything, but I am definitely missing Santa Barbara. Did anybody take the fascia floss digestion class I sent out last week? You did? Oh, good. Was it helpful, perhaps? You know what I thought was really interesting is, so I had acupuncture on Monday, and the digestive diamond, the acupressure points that I shared in the class, no practitioner had ever done that on me before. And he did it on me on Monday. And I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is the digestive diamond. I was asking him all these questions about it. So it was just a funny coincidence that I got to experience that right after I offered it to you. All right, I'm going to put the playlist up, and you can listen to that if you like. Also, I think if you get my email, you know, I tried to make this one collaborative. So that means we're going to have this playlist for the winter season, but we can add and change it as we evolve this winter. So I think that because the settings are collaborative, if you have a Spotify account, you can just add songs that you think would be nice for class. But if that's too much tech, you can just send me an email and with the title and the artist, and I'll add it to our collective winter 2021 playlist. So I think that'll be kind of fun. And if you're not on the list, put it up. I think you're all here. I think we have some more folks coming in, but I feel like we ought to get started. My inspiration was the water element. So I wanted to focus mostly on the bladder meridian, which would be the hamstrings, the energy channels up the back. It actually starts at your inner eye corners. So it's a big one that runs all the way down along the back of your whole body. It goes out your pinky toe. So pretty long one. And then it's balanced by your kidney meridian, which starts at the sole of your foot and travels up your inner leg. This is my leg now. And then it moves up your torso and ends just underneath of your collarbones. Kat is tracing it too. Nice, Kat. Yeah, so when the kidney contracts, we may find ourselves kind of curling into fetal position. And when we contract the bladder, we could get into more extension and open. So we'll work with those two. Can be really helpful for hips, bone density, actually, adrenals, things like that. So we'll explore some of that for the next few weeks. But do you guys have any requests? Anything in particular you want to tackle today? Okie dokie, artichokes. Let's get going then. If anything comes to mind, you can always add it yourself or reach out to me through chat or otherwise. So let's start out. We're going to start out seated. And if you want to be on a cushion or something like that, you're welcome to sit. I'm going to come into, a cobbler's pose. That sounds nice. And let's all actually come into a cobbler's pose if that's okay on your body, and just use your thumbs to like massage the soles of your feet. Take a few breaths. And so as we come into the water element, it's sort of the time where intuitively we want to hibernate. Well, I think it's interesting that you may naturally counterbalance that tendency by making this a very social time of year. Holiday season, we have family, we're like kind of trying to warm up with the other season pulling us inward. So I want you to just kind of check in with where you're at, maybe physically in your form or energetically or emotionally. And if you're feeling like, you have a tendency to want to settle in, or if you're feeling a tendency to push out, sometimes feelings of loneliness might come up. So just take a few breaths and see where you're at. And while you're doing that, you can give your feet, the soles of your feet, a little massage. Just kind of palpate into your feet and allow them to be nice and pliable. Encourage your feet to soften and relax. And as you're ready, you can just start to stir your spine around. So not really flossing yet, we're just moving. Maybe shifting from sit bone to sitting bone, or feeling a smaller movement. Also letting the occiput, where your spine comes up into your skull, feel that space kind of being more pillowy and fluid as you're moving. Thinking will connect really into the fluids. We're in the water element. Connect to all those rivers in your form right now. Go ahead and change directions if you haven't yet, or change up your movement somewhat. Very nice. And then from there, just plant your feet onto the floor. Your hands can be to the insides of your legs. I'm holding my ankles, and where your feet are positioned is personal to you. So choose the spot where your hips feel kind of happy. And I want you to contract into that kidney line by curling in tight, think fetal position. Your inner thighs are squeezing together, and use your elbows to press your knees open. You might gently lean your body forward and curl it back in again. So we're moving into the kidney meridian here, that channel that starts at the sole of your foot and moves up your inner legs, up the front, and ends just underneath of your collarbones. I want you to take the first few of these kind of slow to begin with, just to give you some time to feel into the connections. Feel the engagement first. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes just to take away one of those senses so you can heighten your inner experience here. Yeah. Maybe let your form, your self-concept be a little bit more mushy right now. Rather than conforming to a shape that you think you should make, let that shape arise from your movement and your resistance. Let's take one more here. Good, and then just pause, bring your hands right to your collarbones, just underneath of the collarbone ridge. We're at kidney 27, and you're just gonna do a little gentle like palpation. Like, you know, when cats are like pawing their bedding before they get in, that's kind of what you're doing at your collarbones. You're just sort of checking in with your sternum, and take some deep breaths. Maybe again, you can link into the sensation or imagine all those rivers of fluids in your body. You have your circulatory system, you have your lymph system. The circulatory system moving by the pump, your heart pump, the lymph moving because of the movement of the circulatory system and because of your own movements. Great, and then just gently brush. Yeah, very light touch. Again, we're moving the, kind of thinking about the lymph, that water and fluid between your skin and your other surfaces. Beautiful, and then when you're ready, come onto your hands and your knees. Plant down through your palms, bring your knees to the mat. Plug down through your knees and maybe even your shins, feeling your body sort of lifting away from the floor. Give me a cat stretch. Tucking your tail, look towards your belly button. We're presenting the bladder meridian towards the sky. And then as you keep plugging down through your hands and your feet, go the other way, extending through your spine, your heart pulls forward, your tailbone reaches up. Give me some nice cat cows. And what I'm picturing is that bladder meridian along the back, compressing as I extend and lengthening as I flex. If you like the visuals. If you want to add your own special sauce, you can change your angles. You might stir around a little bit. Again, I want you to feel sort of watery as you're playing here. Water is very, it's very transformative, right? It takes on a lot of different forms. Unlike some other materials, it can retain its essence of water, even as it's in a very cold climate and becomes ice, even as it is in very high heat and becomes steam, it maintains some essence. So as you're moving here, you can feel into what parts you're going to hook into that feel essential, and then how you might adapt as you're uncovering. And then planting through your hands, tuck your toes. I want you to start by hovering your knees just barely off of the mat, link into your abdominals, contracting through your stomach, and shift a tiny bit back and forth here. Keep the balls of your feet plugging down. Your toes are spreading. And as we're shifting back and forth, maybe the heel and the Achilles are getting a little spread. So I'm letting my heels push back and I'm feeling the bottom of the heel and into the Achilles widening. Plus we're getting a little heat, right? 3, 2, and then as you reach back, lift your hips up and find your nice easy down dog, pedaling out your feet. If you need to walk your dog out a little bit longer, go for it. Keep pushing into the balls of your feet as you pedal. So you're making some resistance through the back line of your leg. And then kick your hands forward, which will send your body back. Continue to pedal. See if you can feel the calves starting to open up as well. Press back through both of your heels, aiming your tailbone up towards the sky. Keep kicking your hands forward and wave your spine through. Let it just gesture its way through today into a high plank. Soften your elbows, soften your knees. Hover those knees just barely off the mat. You're kind of winding up like a kickstand and then push on back and up to a down dog. Yeah, juicy. Kick your hands forward, ripple your spine through, high plank. Soften your elbows, bend your knees to hover and begin plugging back towards your heels. The knees bend, and then your heels are gonna plug down as you unfold into a down dog. One more time. Waving forward. Soften elbows, bend your knees to hover, swoop back. And stepping your right foot forward, come into your low lunge. We're going down the central hamstring first. If you have your blocks, your props, you can grab them. We know this one. Squeegee your front heel back as you start sitting back. Let's floss. Good. Pull yourself forward using your hamstring. Keep it up as you go back. You got it. Good. You guys are all experts in this one for sure. So giving you permission to add your personal touch as always. You can turn your toes a little bit inward today as you're going back, and that's going to target more into the lateral aspect of your hamstring. That tracking more along the bladder meridian as it's mapped in Chinese medicine. However, if you're feeling like you need to get more medial, you could turn the toes out as you're moving. Play around a little bit with where you need to go here. Nice. Yeah, I'm seeing some really nice knee bending, letting that knee pit tuck and fold up, getting more of those muscle fibers behind the knee and in the belly of the hamstring. Beautiful. Let's take two more. Good. Come into a lunge, tuck your back toes and lift your back knee up. You're in a mid lunge now. Bring your knee right above your ankles, squeeze your hips together, try to center off in your pelvis. So the pelvis might like to slide around. I want you to plug down through your front heel and wrap your right hip back. You can keep your left hand on your block or your prop or the floor and twist to your right. Keep plugging down through your heel. Come back to center. I just naturally put a hand on my sacrum. It feels kind of nice. But if you want, you could reach your arm up as well. We're going to twist again to your right. Keep plugging down through your heel as you come back to center. One more time, twist. And coming back down, tuck your back leg under you, have a seat. And bring your hands to the sole of your right foot, right on kidney 1. Yeah, so right under the ball of the foot, right in the middle. Want you to hook those fingers in, pull your heel towards your booty here, magnetizing your heel to booty, and then pull your leg straight up towards a hamstring pump. Good. So you can do this sitting up if you feel like you have the flexion in your hip. If you need a little more support, you could also do this on your back. If you want to lie down for this version, that might feel kind of nice. The key, as you know, is to engage first. So you're engaging by pulling your heel towards your sitting bone the whole time. And we're getting a little extra credit by hooking those fingers right into kidney 1. It's a twofer. Beautiful. Nice. One more time here. And then sit on up if you're on your back. I want you to take the same leg that you just worked and cross it over your bottom knee. So if your other leg doesn't like to be bent, you could have this straight. Okay, we just have a little prop here. So the leg that we've been working, we're coming back on the kidney line. I want you to rotate your knee towards your opposite shoulder. Pull it up towards your shoulder without using your hands. Feel your inner thigh, your hip, your groin engaged. Now take your hands to the inside of your leg and you're gently pressing it open and down. Good. So you could start over at the top, make sure you're using the muscle that we want to floss, and then extend with your arms. If you need some support, you can be easy about this. I sometimes like to lean back with one hand. This feels kind of nice. There's also a variation where you are on your back. You could do that too if you feel like you get enough range here. So we're balancing the hamstring with the kidney again. We're going to keep working in these pairings and see how the hips feel. Nice. I'm going to take a little closer peek at you all as you're working here. Good. Phil, you might like to put your left foot on a block or something so you have more, more range to play with. Yeah, try that. Yeah, now you can get more rotation in that hip, huh? Good. There we go. I'm seeing us all. Nice. Très bien. Take one more or two more or 10 more, depending on your vibe. And then give it a little shakeroo. Love a good shimmy shake. Beautiful. I want you to rock forward onto that right foot again and return to your lunge. Just plug in and see how things are feeling now. Grab your blocks if you've got them or your arm extenders. And then we're going to stay very central right now in your lunge, and I want you to just do kind of a pyramid pump. I haven't turned out my back leg. I'm just doing a ready, set, go, sort of hop forward and back here. So the front knee is bending and straightening. The back leg can bend as well. What we're aiming for is to get some sensation into your hamstring once again. Let's do just 3 more. Keep pushing down through your front heel. Make that nice and plugged in. And maybe even plug in through your pinky toe edge of your foot and see what that does for your experience. I said 2 and I'm giving you like 10. Okay, now hop your back foot so that the heel is planted like pyramid stance, and I want you to stand up, or warrior 1 stance, warrior 1 sort of situation. Take those arms up. Let's open into a triangle shape, or I guess I'm in a warrior 2. It's been a long time since I've done standard yoga poses, eh? Warrior 2, but we're moving towards a triangle. So straighten your front leg, keep a micro bend in your knee so it feels pliable. And then glide your rib cage forward so we're flossing up into the top part of your leg and stand tall. Good. Glide the ribs out. This always reminds me of like 90s jazz class for kids. Was anybody else in jazz class in the 90s or early 2000s? We'd like do the ribs. Yeah, isolations. That's what we're doing here. Great. Then glide those ribs forward or towards your front foot. Take it into kind of a Trikonasana stance, but keep plugging down through your leg. And I want you to do little micro bends and straightens in your knee so we're flossing back through your leg. Keep your center strong so your back feels supported here. If it's hard to hover, you could also take your hands to a block for more support. Nice. One more. Good. Bending your front knee, come back up. Face forward. Once again, you're in a warrior 1. Take your hands down to your blocks or your props. We're coming into the hydraulics. So walk those blocks forward, lift off of your back leg. You're hovering here. Keep a nice generous bend in your front leg. You're going to plug down through the heel, lower your back foot to tap, and pick it up again. Tap down, float up. Beautiful. Extend your back leg a little straighter. Find some energy in the floating leg. So that lever becomes longer, gives you a little more to work with. Dance your pelvis around. Rotate the pelvis closer to the ground or let it rotate open. Just bringing some more awareness into the pelvis and then encouraging some fluidity here. Beautiful. 2 more here. Step your feet together, hang over in a forward fold. Soften your knees, nod your chin, give me a bounce. Bounce, sigh, shake it out. Rolling up 1 vertebra at a time, nice and easy. Whoa, we did a lot of work on one leg and hardly any on the other. Got two bodies happening here. Step your feet about as wide as your mat or maybe just off your mat. Nice pliable springy knees. And we're gonna rotate from side to side. Think about your qigong pounds here. You can make soft fists. Just gently let those fists land up and back at your kidney. Let go of the control. Just let the momentum carry you. I want to give you enough time to let go. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then just bringing your feet underneath of you, giving a nice, easy little bounce and shake. If you need to shake a leg, shake a hand. Shimmy it all loose. Yeah, good. Get all the cobwebs off of there. Let your tissue feel nice and shimmery. Splashing little water droplets. Yeah, now we're talking. Oh, I like it. I feel good. And then just release, stand. Bring your hands to just underneath of your floating ribs, right around where your kidneys are. Those are your healing hands. You can send some good energy from your palms into your kidneys. Kidneys are like the generators of our qi in Chinese medicine. This is where the qi goes back to regenerate. When you lie down on your back at night, they say that's where the qi is regenerating, restoring. Let's take one more breath. Beautiful, and just releasing down. Standing at the top of your mat, clasp your hands behind your head. Let your head rest back into your hands. Bring your elbows together in front of you, magnetizing those elbows, and use that kind of squeeze. Just nod your chin towards your chest. Be gentle here, just opening up the back of the neck. Keep your knees soft. Just chin to chest, upper back rounds, and then peel your elbows apart. Let your heart open. Spread your lungs. Take a nice deep breath. And again, magnetize the elbows together, arcing your chin towards your chest. The back of your neck gently stretches. You're curving into your thoracic spine. And blooming back open, letting your lungs open. Keeping your head heavy, your palms are magnetized to your head. Curl in one more time. Draw your belly button up towards your rib cage. Let your elbows open. Good, and now just plug down through your heels. Make your knees nice and gooey. Drop your chin towards your chest. If your neck feels okay, keep your hands behind your head. And you're gonna spill all the way down into a forward fold. Nice soft knees. I want your spine to get movement here. So allowing your back to actually round. Find a nice natural stopping point. Let your arms fall down to the floor. And then plugging your hands down, step back into your down dog and check in with yourself. Pedal out your feet. Nod your head, shake your head. And then pressing your hands forward, kicking your heels back, and ripple your spine through to your high plank. Soften your elbows, bend and hover your knees. Let your toes really flex. You're gonna push back and drop those heels as you roll up into your down dog. Take 2 more ripples like this through your spine. Soft elbows, hovering knees. Strong center. Oh yeah, that looks so nice. One more when you're ready. Take your time. Stepping your left foot forward, low lunge on the other side, grab your props and hamstring pump. Okay, keep going for me. I want to show you something because I think it's cool. It's just a good coincidence. Because I always say hydraulics, right? Warrior 3 hydraulics. Well, my daughter made a water hydraulics model yesterday. Check it out. This is your Warrior 3 hydraulics. Here's the water, right? See if this will work. Oh shoot, it's not gonna work. I gotta push it down. Woo! Did you see that? Anyway, keep pumping. This is just a distraction. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is when you're in Warrior 3. You're sending that fluid through. Yeah. Water is so powerful. Okay, that was all. That was science for today. Thank you for indulging me that moment. I hope you're putting your personal touches into your flossing as we move. I find visuals to be very inspiring. So, fabuloso. When you're ready, come forward into your lunge. Plug down through your front heel, tuck your back toes, finding a mid-lunge here. Right hand stays down, your left hand can go to your sacrum or twist up. And then we're coming forward again. So I'm finding a relationship from the heel through the hamstring. As your torso rotates, you're gonna feel this getting a floss and lengthen. And back down, very nice. One more time, rotating. And coming back down. I feel like one more will do it. I'm adding an extra one because I'm seeing us get organized. Yeah, nice, good old floss. And come back down. Scoot yourself in, have a seat. You're gonna grab kidney 1 at the sole of your foot. Plug your heel towards your sitting bone, contracting through your hamstring, and pump. We're still on that back line of your leg. Again, if you'd like, you may like to take this onto the ground, onto the floor. That may feel more supportive for your needs. You choose what's working for you here. Good, yeah, try some things out. Sample platter, figure out what's working for you today. Sometimes I like to just palpate with my fingertips right into that kidney 1 point while I continue, so I'm not just like jamming the fingers in. If it feels too sensitive, you could move your hands off of the point. That kidney 1's a really nice one for balancing fire, giving you an energy boost. Great, and then from there, you can cross your ankle over your thigh. So the left leg, the one we're working, you can rotate your shoulder up or knee to your shoulder, engaging through the inner leg, and then press it down as you resist. Good, it comes up, engaged. Yeah, if you're on your back, you could stay on your back. Try that version. Keep going. Get a closer peek at you. So I am cueing from your hip, right? I'm thinking about the hip mechanics, but you know that this kidney line is all the way through your front body. So if you're feeling curious about it, you can add some more gesture through your whole, yeah, nice, Emma. That's it. And sometimes the kidney line is actually described as going all the way up into your face as well, through the throat, through the heart and lungs. So there's like, you know, the descriptions we have, but then also maybe you can sense and color in your own experience too. Yeah. Good. Ooh, is anybody's outer hip getting tired? I am feeling that. Yeah. Let's get back onto that floss, shall we? So from here, you can give it a little shaky outie. And then you're coming back on to your left leg to stand. Come back into your lunge and just check things out. Maybe you're encouraging more circulation and chi flow on that outer hip. Plug down through your front heel and pump forward and back here. Just getting some movement. Yeah, and play a little bit with where your torso is positioned. So if you were kind of fired up in your outer hip when we were doing kidney, try walking your hands a tiny bit across the body towards your left and see if that can address some of that heat you were feeling in your hip. Nice. Good, and then let's bend the front knee, come into a warrior one stance. Your back heel is planted now. Take your arms up. Find the stability. Connecting the heels down and really pulling yourself to your center. Then opening up to a warrior two-ish stance. Front knee is tracking over your front ankle and toes. Straighten your front leg, but keep it feeling pliable, gentle micro bend. And then glide the rib cage forward. We're back in their 90s jazz dance class. You're isolating that rib cage forward and back here. Getting a good floss. Good. Yep. And then keep the legs somewhat straight, somewhat extended. Your ribs slide forward and you're going to tip down into your Trikonasana variation, or if you need some support, you can have that. And I want you to keep a little gentle movement where you are. A little sway, a little flowing river. Keep it going. Nice. Let's take one more breath here. Bending into your front leg, come all the way back up. Squaring off towards the front, our warrior three hydraulics are coming. Remember my daughter's engineering experiment, you are the hydraulics. So we plug down, here comes the water pressure, we float up. Tapping down, keep that pressure floating up, yeah. I don't know, maybe the image does help, kind of fun. Yeah, float that back leg a little straighter. Just finding the reach. Good, squeeze your belly button back towards your spine so your lower back feels supported. One more time. And step your feet together, find your forward fold, nice soft knees. Shake out your head, give me a bounce. And rolling on up one vertebra at a time, your head is relaxed. Back of your neck is long, unpeeling. Standing, take one hand to your back and one hand to your front. And just play with equalizing the length on both sides here. So it might be like getting a little tuck of your tail, pulling up through the front, just kind of nodding. See if you can find the plumb line. Your pelvis is centered over your foot centers, and the front has energy or space to move, and the back has space to move. And then you can just let your arms relax down at your sides, close your eyes, and connect back into sensing all the fluid, the movement, the rivers that you've got. Yeah, and you can be still or you can move a little. It's up to you. Whatever feels right. Just take 2 more breaths. So beautiful, you guys. And as you're ready, come back to the top of your mat and gently roll back down. Nice vertebra by vertebra. We're going to come into our down dog. Rolling down was deceiving, wasn't it? Yeah, take your down dog, pedal out. And then in your own timing, you can wave your spine forward into your plank and swoop it on back. Beautiful. Nice. Your whole body from your toes to your nose and beyond. Scrubbing out and hydrating all that connective tissue. Beautiful. And then you're coming on down. Just take a rest, a child's pose. Yeah, child's pose would be good, I think. Stay on your elbows, come forward. So you're on your forearms. Let's go into our triple warmer. Forearms down, palms down. Pulling your elbows towards your knees. Dome your upper back towards the sky and pull forward. Use your arms to pull your body forward. Now use your navel, your belly button to motor yourself back towards your heels as you keep pulling from the elbows and forearms. And come forward again when you're ready. Dome your upper back, plug down through your elbows and motor from your core to go back. Take it at your own timing. I want you to do about 5 or 6 more of these. Take your time to go a little bit deeper into it. I want us to start pulling our focus internally, connecting into your own internal reserves. Good, and then from there, swing around so your legs are out in front of you. So the standard for our pericardium, our kind of classic, would just be to have your feet on the mat, your knees are bent. The setup for your upper body, you're about a handprint away from your booty with your fingertips pointing in or just a little bit turned out, but not back. So just a little bit more in. Okay, if you want to make it a little more of a like a kidney situation, you can bring your knees apart today in like a prayer your feet. And then we're sliding those hands towards your hips, curling in. Start to lift your heart, kick down through your pinky toes, and maybe even your pelvis can come up. And then we're slowly lowering back down and schlumping. By the way, if that feels unstable because your ankles don't like it, you could also do it in like a Sukhasana variation where you keep your shins down, your shin bones. And again, if your knees are not happy with rotation, just come back to our standard one and focus on that pericardium or upper body. I'm gonna just peek at everybody, as you know the idea here. Good. Beautiful. You can also invite your throat to open. Yes, cat. Yummy. Good. Let those collarbones widen as we come up. Yes. Check in with your jaw, friends. Okay, lovelies, go ahead and lie down on your back. Shake out your wrists. Yeah, come onto your back and hug your right knee in towards your chest. Your left leg can just be long on the mat. Your opposite hand is coming to your right knee. I want your right knee to fall over to the right. So it's going to fall open. As it keeps pushing open, use your left hand to pull it across towards a spinal twist, but keep resisting ever so slightly. And then you're going to open it again. So we're just teetering, open and shut here. It doesn't have to be a battle, this one. I just want your knee and your palm to duet and feel that nice spiral. Take one more on this side. And release. Bring both of your heels or your legs straight down onto the mat. Your heels are plugged in and you're going to rock your toes. We're heel rocking here. So you're flexing, pointing your ankles to nod your chin and let your pelvis rock. I always picture like a bottle with water in it on its side and you're just sloshing the water. You are the bottle and you are the water. Good, relax that. Take a pause to feel the tingles. And then when you're ready, your left leg or whatever side you haven't done is coming towards your chest. Your opposite hand comes to the outside of your thigh. Let your thigh fall open. Use your arm to drag it up and over into a twist. It's a duet. And back, open. Nice. Use the resistance to feel more complete, more connected through the whole spine, through your hip complex, lower leg. One more time. Good, and coming back, release. Stretch your legs long. Give me one more round of heel rocks. And this time, if you want, you can tap at your sternum with your fingertips while you rock. And I like to sigh out through my mouth. Or making some sound can really loosen up the congestion if you feel like your lungs are a little congested. So you could make a ha while you rock. One more breath, one more round of rocking. And release. Good. So last couple things here. Bring your knees towards your chest. You don't have to have them in super tight. I want you to cross your arms. Right now I've got my left arm underneath, the right arm's on top. Your hands are gonna kind of try to clap together, but they're on your knees, outside of your knees. So you're doing like the, what is that, waka waka thing, you know? Yeah, so your right arm is on top and you're pressing to the outsides of your knees. Your hands continue to clap together as your knees rock apart. Feel your back spreading. Then use your strong arms to press those knees back together. Your sacrum gets a little wider. We're making it, it's an upper body floss. So along your shoulder girdle, You might like to prop something under your head, like a block or a pillow. That'll make your arms feel a little bit longer. Take a few more, just play around with it. I want to see how we're doing. Nice, Heather. Oh, that looks nice and deep, very integrated. Beautiful. Relax. You might like to take a happy baby or something to just reset in between. Great. And then you can cross with the other arm on top. You're clapping your hands together and play into the floss. Nice. Beautiful, y'all. When you feel complete with that, you can relax. Take your knees or your feet, plant your feet back down. If there's something under your head, remove it so that your head is flat to the floor, and you're gonna make like you're gonna plug your elbows into the floor. Yeah, so you can kind of tighten it up. You could have your elbows a little wide or into your sides. Notice what feels best on your shoulders. I want you to wind up across your back there. Yeah. You're going to look straight up at the ceiling and lift your pelvis up to the sky in like a bridge pose. Once at the top, really engage through that upper back even more. Yeah, you might even rotate your palms a teeny bit out, a little wider. Yeah, finding that rotation. And then slide your spine down against that pressure. So you're going to roll your spine from neck to mid back, maybe even a little lower. You don't have to come all the way down. We're focused on the upper back, so then you can plug down and pop it on up again. Lift your hips, engage across the band of your shoulders, neck, triceps. Beautiful. And work your way through that engagement. As you're coming down, energize your chin towards your throat very gently. It may have a tendency to want to lift up. It's okay if it lifts a little, but I want you to find the energy. That's it, Rose. Beautiful. One more. Nice. And once you've come all the way down, keep your knees bent and walk your feet wide. Take your arms just barely off your mat with the palms face up, and windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Good. And you have some options here if you'd like. It might be nice to bring your legs up the wall or drape your legs over a chair, or if you're in home in your room, maybe on the, like over the bed edge, something to get some softening along your kidney. And then if you want, you can add a pressure point here, kidney 27, one of my faves. It's just at the inner edge of your collarbone, right underneath. It's the last point on the kidney meridian. Yeah, that looks good, Tamara. Get those legs up. Relax. Nice. Yeah, good. Make yourself comfy, warm and cozy. Take some deep breaths. This is the season of restoring, so I want to give us some extra time for some stillness. If you're comfortable, again, to close your eyes so that your attention can go in. And I want you to feel just like in a traditional yoga class, when you start to take Shavasana, that's that, what is it called? Pratyahari. You're withdrawing the senses. I want you to like condense your senses in towards your center, as if you're gathering all of that potential energy into a great reservoir. Even in its like stillest form, water is never totally still, and it is so full of potential. So you're collecting, you're preparing. Good. Feel the backs of your eyes heavy. And just checking in with that river of energy that runs along your spine, down your legs. So to me, the bladder meridian is one of the first channels to form when you are an embryo. It's an old one. It's a very essential one. It's a powerful one. And we're in that time, that season where we can reunite with that sense, that old, essential, deep power of ours. And when we're balancing that with events and social obligations and other things, sometimes we can be pulled away from this, which isn't a problem. It happens. But it's just helpful to reconnect to this part that you always have, that's always there, that's always kind of keeping things running. So if you feel moved to yourself and to your form, you can say thank you. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. If you feel like closing the class in a formal way with me, you can draw your knees towards your chest. Yeah, hug in. And if you'd like to make your way up to seated position, you can roll onto one side and sit on up. If you have time after class, I would recommend even like a 5-minute meditation. You just kind of cleared the path to get a little bit more of that. If not, no worries, I'm just saying. If you're with me, bring your hands together, rub your palms. Cup your hands over your eyes and bow into yourself. Hatha Yoga Anushasanam. Here's where your practice begins. Such an honor and a joy to share with you today. Namaste. Thank you all so much. So nice to see you again. I hope you had a great week last week. I'll see you again soon.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
When stuff is pinching in that inner thigh in a lot of these moves, you mentioned it once, but we didn't go into what that is.
Was that during the kidney stretch? Is that when you had your...
Yeah, but I felt it most of the time.
Okay. So I usually think of pinching as it could be, I would call it two different things. One is it could be like a substitution. So if you're not actually able to have the range in one direction, then the balancing muscle might start to contract or pull. But the other part, especially with hip work to me, is usually related to your femur head. So imagine this is your ball and socket joint, right? This is the top of your leg. And if that femur is not able to kind of rest in the hip, if it's sliding just a little bit forward or back, it's going to start to feel like it's pinching, right? Or grabbing. Yeah. So it's probably an alignment thing. I would say if it was probably towards this front part that you were feeling the pinching, then I would spend more time with gallbladder stretches and bladder flossing to make a little bit more space so that that femur head can start to settle into the socket. That's where I would start.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
Okay, cool. Thanks for asking. Kat, do you have anything to add? Because you know so much about this too.
For me, when that pinching happens at the front, I like to also go to hip flexor. So even so either the water pumps, I call them water pumps. What do you guys call them? This
the stomach pumps. Yeah.
Yeah, the stomach, it helps me decompress there.
Wow.
Also the lunge, because then it gets the central quad and the lateral quad.
Brilliant.
So balancing what you said, actually, you know, the front and the back. That seems to help me decompress at the front.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, another one I think would be the one with the blocks.
Yes.
That one. And play with your angles. Because there's, again, that ball and socket, we're not just kind of sagittal or, you know, it's like, I think of like an ice cream cone. Like you can be all around that ball and socket joint. It's not just a hinge. If it were a hinge, we would have less movement mechanics. So you can play with all those different rotations and see. Thank you, Kat, for, we can all Venmo Kat $20 for her consultation. I'm just kidding. I really appreciate you jumping in though. Thank you. Because I love what you have to share. Thanks, everybody. Take care. I'll see you again soon, I hope. Bye.